the opening after e4. So Ludvig plays e4 not so often, as it seems. So normally he goes for d4 or some stuff. So I decided to deviate from my normal opening from Sicilian, and
it was basically the only move that I managed to make Jan think. He spent 5 minutes on his first move, and that's the rest of the game he played basically instantly.
Well, but in general the play is simple, so this is more or less well-known position. So queen d2, b5, I believe this is a normal move. And here I was surprised with e5, because normally you play e5, then a pawn is on h3 or something. And okay, maybe I can take on e5, but then I'm slightly worse in the endgame. So I decided to go into some complications. I think you also could play bishop g5 here. Let's say if takes, then h3. So, I mean, if I take, you take here, takes, and I thought this is okay for white, because after f6 you can go for something like bishop d3. It's very, very active, like king f7. I mean, I don't like the position. Like knight f3, just white is crushing, I believe. So here I think I should play h6. Bishop h4. No, wait, h6 you can check on g4, yeah, so that's the trick. So maybe, no,
so
of course here I play h6, sorry, of course here I play h6. Yeah, bishop h4, here I take, and after h3 I think I just go back. And I think this should be more or less playable for me, like, I don't know. Somehow I thought that this position is, not so clear, like maybe I can go knight h5 and then g5, and then attack e5 pawn, so it's, maybe white lacks some coordination. So okay, I like development, white like coordination.
Yeah,
so
I mean, to me it looks interesting for white.
Yeah, maybe it is, but I think it's, whatever, let's say double-edged. So maybe even knight d7. So I mean after f4 I always have g5, and after e6 maybe I can simply capture and then play king f7. Well, I'm not sure if I'm much worse or not worse at all, because okay, pawn is a pawn, and if I manage to hold e5 square, like then I can go like knight e6, knight e5. So maybe it's just playable, because okay, this king on d2 always, I can have some check like in the future. So I'm not sure, because I was considering bishop g5 as the main move.
So this was one of the critical moves.
Yeah, I believe so, because after e6 I think I just shift some better edition of Scandinavian game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, because normally
it's definitely a bit risky for white in terms of giving up this dark squared bishop.
Yeah, true.
In the game we certainly saw how powerful it could become. But I still believe that white is doing pretty well in this position. He has some development, and he has some ambitions of getting the c5 square. And then if you fast forward 12 moves, you can see that I was behind in development, and I had lost the c5 square. And it basically, when you make such a committal decision like giving up your bishop, you have to play very actively and accurately. 5 square, and it basically, when you make such a committal decision like giving up your bishop, you have to play very actively and accurately to kind of show that the long-term advantage is in black's hands. So you have to do something short-term to create something. And
I believe that this was critical, yeah, because after bishop g7, of course, you had this d5.
Yeah, this d5
I think I
was
just castle, dc6, queen takes.
Queen f6, I thought was
No, I think I can just take here, and after knight d5, king h8, I thought this is very, very unclear. So I thought this is some sort of, of critical line. I mean, maybe I was tending to miss something, but I thought this is more or less, more or less logical, because also, I can go for some insane risk by playing a6 here, but I didn't believe this position. Like, in case if I takes, then knight d5, bishop a6 looks like black is okay, but
I thought queen f6 was interesting after castles.
Yeah, as well.
Because it's really tricky for me. Then I never get to play knight d5.
But you can play queen f3, maybe. I don't know. So just to kick the queen out of this squares.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not sure because maybe I would surely spend a lot of time here because either I would play castle immediately and then go for all this time.
Somehow I was under the illusion that after bishop g2 I was threatening knight takes b5 in the game. I was actually reasonably
because
happy
g3
with
is
this plan
g3 is I think is rather a bad idea
it's
because
a bit slow.
Because bishop normally never goes into play for real onto c6 because since you castle long side you're never going to take on c6. I even can consider sacrificing this pawn. And after knight d7 bishop g2 maybe you have missed just knight b6 because after knight c4 I mean it's already very risky.
I thought when I play bishop g2 I'll threaten to take on b5. I'll make him use a move on rook b8.
Yeah, but
and then I thought
thinking about rook b8.
Knight f3. And I thought, well, rook b8?
Yeah.
Knight f3. And I thought, as long as I can reply with, after knight b6, I can go knight e5. And then I'm playing my rook
I think
into the center.
I should change my mind. Play something like castles, rook e1, e6. I think it's very complex, basically. So I have my own play, like c5 at some point. But I mean, yes, I think this knight d7, knight b6 is, like nice tempo.
Yeah, so
nice
when Jan
like
played knight b6, I kind of got a bit of a bad feeling because, I mean, missing stuff like this, that the knight is protecting the rook, so that knight takes b5.
Yeah, so
it wasn't really my intention to put it like that.
Yeah, sure. After knight b6, I felt maybe that I'm not only fully equalized, but I can, I can help for something more. Like, normally this knight c5 is positional. Is positionally good for white, but it takes such a long time to bring another knight into play, like to d3 or somewhere else. So I was just going to kick this knight as soon as I can. So what did you do? Queen f3. It's very tricky. Bishop d7, knight e4, queen c7, knight c5. So here during my opponent time, I was thinking if I should sacrifice this pawn pair, like takes. I think white should take. Otherwise, I can just play knight e4 in the next move with some. Maybe it goes to the same position, but it looks like more clever for me to, not to spend time on protecting this square. But here I wasn't sure because surely
compared to the game, I have a lot of pawns on black squares, and it's really that's how I'm going to stop.
But same time, I have these two open files for my rooks. Okay, maybe this was too much. Because I had a nice another option, a nice alternative for rook c8. So that's why I played rook c8. Okay, h4. Sorry. Well, h4 is some kind of provocative move. So after h5, I believe bishop h3. White is doing more or less okay. But unfortunately for white, I can kick the knight immediately. And here,
I still didn't think it was that bad. I kind of understood.
I think
that
this is somewhat dangerous already for you because.
Yeah, well, with hindsight, I realized, but I thought worst case I can go queen a3, and I thought it should be okay.
But queen a3 I can even castle and then play e5 as well. So it's when the bishop comes into play into full strength, let's say okay, white is in big danger. So, I don't know, this I think is the most critical line. Well, h5, let's say castle is fine, I believe. Here okay, I could play c5, but it's another story, like knight e2. Okay, here I could play c5. Let's say b3, I think, is the move. cd4 takes, and here, I don't know, maybe queen e6. I wasn't sure about this position, and the biggest question for me was if I really need to go for some complications instead of, playing some calm advantage after queen d6 and c5. Because, this bishop makes the king position very safe. It's check on h7 is always only check. So. Okay, queen d6 seemed to be slow for me, but I decided to go for this.
This is kind of where I realized how big trouble I was in.
Well, you could play knight e4, I believe. So this was a move. And here I wasn't sure about the position. Not totally sure, because the idea that after c5 you can go for queen d5. Some counterplay. So let's say if queen f6 now, then knight g6, queen g6, bishop e4,
knight g6,
and then bishop h7. That's what I was calculating. So bishop h6, king b1 doesn't seem too smart to me. Yeah, but here I could play something like rook d8, and this was the line.
Some crazy lines.
No, it's not so crazy. It's some on the contrary. I think it's very straight. And here I think black is doing fine because if takes
is a bit different than instantly winning, which is basically what I did.
Well, I mean takes. I don't really think this is winning because you can just play some calm move like maybe rook e1. Well, of course black is one to play on, but it's maybe this rook to e1. I don't know to be tricky. But I mean of course. Black is one into the commanding position here, so and then maybe then b3. But yeah, this looks not so good.
Can we go to the critical moment of the game?
I think it's basically
the things went wrong for
white. but here c3. I think after c3 things are very wrong for white. So b3. Fortunately for white, white can hold after this one. I mean maybe b3 here is promising, but I couldn't calculate this. So in case of rook c4, king d2. d3 gives nothing because queen d3 and then king c2, and b3 then queen b3. Otherwise I was winning a spot. So I decided to go for this one. This is some serious advantage, but I mean far from winning one spot. So I decided to take the bishop. This seemed more logical to me,
Then to take with the pawn.
Yeah, taking the pawn was an option, but here it was tough to realize because king is basically going to run away to e2, so I should try to keep him away from this field. But so here after king d2 I can play d3, but king b1 d3 is very dangerous, but queen b2 and then rook d3, so it looks like blockade. So that's why I took the bishop, and here I think it was a bad decision. Like queen c2 was the move, I think. So the core idea to play rook d3, king d2, it's much worse, but it doesn't seem to me like a losing for white. So I was going to play something like this to, at least to make this not so simple like rook d3. So maybe I have some nasty check, and then I can attack f2 pawn. But I didn't see anything, precise. But after queen d2, I think, I just gaining some tempi. And here, okay, a4, looks better. I can go for same like bishop g7. King b1 never looks better. Yeah, and here
somehow I thought I could play queen h6.
Yeah, queen h6, rook b3. Yeah, I also wasn't sure about this line, but then I saw that here I can start with queen c3 check.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one.
Yeah, this is important. So bishop d4, queen d2, queen e6.
Yeah, because whenever I can't play queen h6, it's just queen d2 is
yeah. So
useless.
Here. Very strange move g4 in my opinion. So once again it was never late to play queen c2, rook d3, and at least try to escape this way. So now it's maybe too late, but it was the best chance. But I believe here it's very, very suspicious. So g5 to prevent queen f6. But then okay, I just take a pawn. I'm not sure if I should do this, but it seems to me that this should be enough. Bishop d5.
The commentator was wondering if you missed this queen c4. That's what I heard.
I missed a lot of things in this game, but
not this one.
that one I saw, yeah.
Yeah, and here rook e1. Well, they're in pleasant position for white. So
no, I mean from the opening, giving up this bishop. My whole plan is basically attacking the king, right? He was poorly developed, and the king was stuck in the center, and his pieces weren't developed. And look at it now, my king is a complete mess, and I haven't even managed to check him, let alone make any threats. So it was somehow giving up this bishop was a bit of a risky decision. I don't think it was that bad, but the way it made white's position a bit demanding, and I really didn't manage to follow through the way I needed to.
Yeah, so here it was a tricky idea to catch my queen, but fortunately it never works. Like here, after rook g1, rook h1 start, I always have this one, rook b2, and queen escapes on e2 or f2. So here I felt like it should should be enough for me. Well, I don't know. So you could also go for king c2, but I mean, even after a5.
I don't see this king surviving.
Yes.
Yeah, I also don't see. So it's.
So let's not torture your opponent once again. Showing this line. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you, and we will be back with